I started a new campaign today. It was initially supposed to be in person, but was made online due to last-minute scheduling issues. We were in the middle of character introductions and descriptions when suddenly, through one of the players' mics, we hear,
"And will the double cheeseburger bundle meal be all, ma'am?"
She was in a McDonald's drive-thru in the middle of the session. She then proceeded to run errands for the full 2-hour session. She went to Walmart, the grocery store, and finally the doctor's office. We ended the session because she had an appointment and had to leave the call and get a vaccination. I'm all for multitasking, but this seems a tad excessive. Hello everyone and welcome back to the one and only Bear Bar Tales. It is I, the one bear who would never give you up, never let you down, would never run around and desert you, and now just turn this whole video into a Rickroll. We have a couple fun stories today, one of which allows me to bust out a voice of mine I know you all love so much. It really... Wait, what are the Mossies doing? Are y'all playing a game? That looks like fun. I've never seen classes like that though. Oh, you're saying that you found the sponsorship package left by the fine folks at Apotheosis for their new Apotheosis Sci-Fi Edition?
Yeah.
Well, pass on over those notes, and you, hit the music.
We're no strangers to love.
Apotheosis Sci-Fi Edition is the newest creation from the Mad Labs over at Apotheosis. This new complete game comes with everything you need to play and utilizes the same system as the original game, which continues the trend of allowing you to do whatever you want by making both the original fantasy setting and this sci-fi setting completely compatible. You want wizards in space utilizing mech suits? Great, just combine the new mech rules and roll up a magic user. How about a steampunk setting so you can live out your 1999 Will Smith classic Wild Wild West fantasy? Easy. Take the guns, light aircraft, and other low-tech sci-fi items and use some of the reflavoring recommendations in the back of the book. You want your Star Trek time travel episode flavored campaign? Switch between the rule sets on the fly with no conversions needed depending on what era your characters are in. You could even make the world of your favorite settings like Persona or Full Metal Alchemist easier than other systems, using both magic and technology alongside each other seamlessly. Wow, you can't just interrupt my flow like that. But yes, my little mossy friend, you can fly. Utilizing the modular ship design that allows you to build up your ship over time, you can create the ship of your dreams, Serenity, and engage in ship combat. Along with everything you need to build the setting and campaign of your dreams, this new book comes with even more races. My favorite of them, outside the obvious choice of bearfolk, is the Gubbum, because look at them. Then, rules on giving them enough cybernetics to make CD Projekt Red blush. It also keeps the same open-ended approach to making classes as the original that allows you to make the class of your dreams, like the Damage Nuking Bard. Apotheosis Sci-Fi Edition, along with its original, truly give you the freedom to make any possible campaign you could possibly dream up. Make sure to check out the links in the description below to pick up the book/PDFs, as well as to join the Discord to find other players to play with and keep up to date on any new Apotheosis news. I'd like to see you do better on an ad read. No one can even understand you. Oh, hey, sorry, buddy. Wow, I didn't even know they had feelings. Well, before we get started, if you like this type of content and you want to hear more from the Bear Bard, make sure to like the video and give the channel a sub. Every sub I get gets me one step closer to riding on the back of Kooh in a never-ending story-style flight montage. Onward, my steed!
Bear Bard, what in Saloon's name is this?
Did you not just hear my thing? We're supposed to fly through in a never-ending story-style montage.
How am I supposed to be able to fly without wings? Or have I magically grown some and haven't been told yet?
I mean, have you actually ever tried?
Get out.
Okay, well, on that depressing note, let's get started with today's first story titled, Liking Dragon Ball is a Big Red Flag. I joined a D&D group on Discord a week ago. The DM told me about this campaign and I made a character with his help. I told him I had never played in Discord before and he said it's alright. In the Discord server, they had a group chat where the players talked. I also started talking there. Someone asked me what my favorite anime was, and I haven't watched many, so I told them Dragon Ball. A few people started saying that I should watch better anime, and I told them I wasn't really that interested in anime, especially the ones they were suggesting with weird names, Rent a Girlfriend. They were making fun of my taste in anime, so I thought they wouldn't mind me saying that the name of their anime was cringe. Later, I received a long message from the DM that I was not welcome to play with them because I had all red flags of being an incel, which, according to them, were 1. Liking Dragon Ball. 2. Making fun of Rent-A-Girlfriend. I've never actually watched it. All I said that the name sounded a bit cringe and probably isn't the type of stuff I'm interested in. 3. I had never played D&D on Discord before. They had previously told me it's alright and that I'll learn. 4. The character I'd made was a male half-orc barbarian. They also said I had offended the other person who had recommended me the anime by saying it sounded cringe and that I should have said sorry. The person in question had said that Dragon Ball is for little boys and not the show for anyone with a brain. I hadn't been bothered by this comment as I thought they were joking, but it was weird that they wanted me to apologize. Well, this one feels a bit bizarro world. Maybe I'm out of the loop, but when I think incel, I generally think of the reverse of this list. Super weeb that only plays on Discord, doesn't like Dragon Ball because it's too mainstream, and plays as a Japanese schoolgirl. Now, this isn't to say that people who fit this criteria are all incels. It's just me thinking that this list feels a bit off. Now here's where I'll make an admission. Growing up, I was also not into anime. I know. I've been making an attempt in the last few years to try and watch more of it, but I've still only seen so much. As a kid, the only anime I liked were Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. Maybe a little bit of Yu Yu Hakusho when it came on after Dragon Ball, but I had tons of friends into anime, so I get that you can't take all these titles at face value, although sometimes you absolutely can. However, if you're not into anime and don't know people who are, then I can see these titles feeling a bit off. The real problem here is you have a bunch of kids who can dish it but not take it. As an ex-athlete, I consider myself an expert here. I personally wasn't a big trash talker, but I've been around some of the best in the biz and had my own moments here and there. As weird as it sounds, there's an ebb and flow to trash talking. There's checks, barriers, and escalations involved, especially with new people. Here's an example. You're playing Monopoly with new people. I don't know the background. Maybe some weird freshman thing or your sister's new boyfriend. Well, the new person does something dumb. You don't start off by saying, "You dumb bitch!" You start with the classic oof, or oofta if you're farther north. Well, maybe your turn, they hit you with the, so that's how people around here play. The implication here being that you all suck, but it's subtle, like a southerner saying, "Bless your heart." You feel each other out and throw out progressively stronger insults until one of you pulls back so you know your limit, or you flip the table, insult their ancestry, and become best friends. Here's one party that sounded like they started just a few levels high, which was okay as OP didn't mind and assumed it could go both ways. However, here we have man-children who can't handle being treated how they treat others, and probably have weak bloodlines. If you want to insult others, just be prepared to take it. Otherwise, don't bother. Now for our next story titled, Welcome to Barovia. No regrets. As far as I know, there is not an RPG cringe story subreddit, so if this belongs in a different place, sorry. I recently began DMing Curse of Strahd for my friends. We are 2 months in, around 8 sessions. So far, it has been amazing. It is a group of 5 players. Their character races and classes don't matter. 4 of the players have never played the module before. Each of their characters gets spirited to Barovia, unsure and scared of where they find themselves. The 5th player has played the module 3 times, and we discussed a way for their experience to be beneficial to the group. This veteran player's character is a local to Barovia, a Valachian wolf hunter. This player is basically a second DM, reinforcing the culture of Barovia's bleak atmosphere and acting as a guide for the party. Here's where the cringe comes in. The party encounters one of the module's named NPCs, who is fairly important, Esmeralda Diavenir. In my games, I try to do voices and accents. I spend an unhealthy amount of time talking to myself, practicing dialogue for the upcoming sessions. I figure the best way to portray Esmeralda is by using a vaguely French accent with an upbeat and positive tone. The players and I are role-playing. Things are going good. But then I noticed that the veteran player muted himself on Discord. I figure he's doing something in real life. The topic of conversation is the Vishanti people and why Esmeralda is an outcast from her folk. I don't remember beat for beat what I said, but I just remember becoming self-conscious upon hearing myself. Realizing that I was sounding less French and more like some unholy ooh speech or baby talk. Stuff like, "I don't particularly care what others think of me. You can never have too many friends in such dark places. I am not a very good Vestoni since I believe Strahd is a bastard. The worst part of it was once I realized this, I could not stop. It got worse and continued to degrade with every passing moment. More people muted themselves until the whole group was silent. I am red in the face with embarrassment. Are you all laughing on mute? The entire party returns. Yes, they were laughing. It took several minutes to calm down. I took it in good stride and called for a bio break. After the break, we talked out of character and they made a lot of color commentary. Particularly the veteran who said this was by far his favorite portrayal of Ez. In an ironic way, of course. So now I am trapped, weakly having to commit to this character trait. They love it too much. I am in too deep to retcon or just use a different voice. Not exactly a horror story, but RPG cringe or pain? Yes it is. First to address. Yes, it was for some reason far easier for me to bust out the UWU voice than a vaguely French accent. Figured I'd piss off less Frenchmen and Quebecers this way. Also, I know how much all of you love it and don't at all question listening to my channel when I use it. Now, I know it would be easy to dunk on this guy, but honestly, I have a lot of respect for people who at least attempt the accent. I'm not great with voices, but I'm far better than I used to be because instead of being embarrassed by how bad I was, I embraced it and got marginally better. It honestly takes a lot for someone to try them out. I know the first time I used a voice on this channel, I actually deleted the lines multiple times and I had to talk myself into leaving them in. I still cringe when putting on a voice, but I use it as practice to get better. Some will hit, some will make you write stories on Reddit, but at least you're trying. The thing with trying voices though is that you have to be ready to take some ribbing from people. You can't take yourself so seriously that if a voice doesn't work out, you get angry about it. This OP seems to have a great attitude about it, and now his group has a great story they'll remember. Now, you may be wondering why I chose a story like this. More of an, in the OP's words, cringe story as opposed to the normal horror stories. Well, it's because I see a lot of people afraid to try voices in their games. People that want to but feel like their voices aren't good enough. I've even heard people say they don't even try playing certain characters or DMing because of it. I just want an excuse to get on my soapbox for a second and say F all that. Sure, practice it beforehand by yourself, but if you want to do voices, you'll never get any better by not trying. We're all just a bunch of nerds having fun. And as you can see here, sometimes a bad voice leaves a bigger impact. Don't take yourself too serious. And with that, let's get to today's Bear Bard's Cave of Art and Wonders. This week's submission is another runner-up for the Bear Bard in Space art contest and comes to us from Discord user Mothman and depicts the Bear Bard receiving an energy reading of over 9,000! Which is okay, as shortly after this, I took 8 episodes powering up to then get punched through a mountain. Then another 8 episodes to go super bard. It was worth every episode. I freaking love this piece. If you're not familiar with Mothman, he does a lot of stuff, but he has a bit of a specialty with Dragon Ball Z and JoJo art. Thank you so much for this piece. Totally brightened up my day. Now for this week's moment in bear history, brought to you by Professor Bearbard. In the spring of 1942, the newly formed Anders Army left the Soviet Union for Iran, accompanied by thousands of Polish civilians who had been deported to the Soviet Union following the 1939 Soviet invasion of eastern Poland. At the railroad crossing in Hamadan, Iran, on April 8, 1942, Polish soldiers encountered a young Iranian boy who had found a bear cub whose mother had been shot by hunters. One of the civilian refugees in their midst, 18-year-old Irene Bekovitz, was very taken with the cub. She prompted Lieutenant Anatol Tarnowski to buy the young bear, which spent the next 3 months in a Polish refugee camp established near Tervan, principally under Irene's care. In August, the bear was donated to the 2nd Transport Company, which later became the 22nd Artillery Supply Company, and he was named Wojtek by the soldiers. The name Wojtek is the nickname, diminutive form, of Wojtek, Happy Warrior, an Old Slavic name still common in Poland. Wojtek initially had problems swallowing, and was fed condensed milk from an old vodka bottle. He was subsequently given fruit, marmalade, honey, and syrup, and was often rewarded with beer, which became his favorite drink. He truly learned to live the soldier's life. He would wrestle, drink, smoke, salute, and march right along the soldiers, moving through Iraq, Iran, Syria, Palestine, and Egypt. He even slept with the other soldiers at night if they were cold. When his unit was reassigned to fight along the British 8th Army, they faced a dilemma, as animals weren't allowed on British ships. So they officially enlisted Private Wojtek, who then received his own paybook, rank, and serial number. During the Battle of Mont Cassino, Wojtek helped his unit to convey ammunition by carrying 100-pound crates of 25-pound artillery shells, supposedly never dropping a single one. The service at Monte Cristo earned him the promotion to the rank of corporal. In recognition of Wojtek's popularity, a depiction of a bear carrying an artillery shell was adopted as the official emblem of the 22nd Company. After the end of World War II in 1945, Wojtek was transported to Berwickshire, Scotland, with the rest of the 22nd Company. They were stationed at Vinfield Airfield on Sunvik Farm, near the village of Hutton. Following the demobilization on 15 November 1947, Wojtek was given to Edinburgh Zoo, where he spent the rest of his days. Wojtek died in December 1963 at the age of 21, weighing nearly 1,100 pounds and was over 5 feet 11 tall. Wojtek is truly an inspiration to us all. Thanks, Professor. If you haven't been on the Discord, there's actually a theory about me being related to Wojtek going around. Possibly me even being Wojtek. I will confirm or deny nothing, but I will say that this is the best ham-licking crest I've ever seen. With all that out of the way, if you enjoyed what you heard today, make sure to like the video and give the channel a sub. If you want to help support the channel further, you can look into my Ko-Fi, where you can sign up for a membership, a one-time tip, pick up a sticker, or even commission me for a few lines. If you want to check out the bear and other forums, you can check out my Discord, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. You can also check out the Bear Bar Tales podcast, available pretty much anywhere. Before I go, I wanted to give a huge shout out to my Ko-Fi subscribers. At the Bear Council tier, we have Mr. Hypocritical. At the Big Bear tier, we have Den of the Drake, Mr. Mint, Armandeus, Skydiving Ellen, and Dave Haggerty. At the Mossy tier, we have Novatonics and the Roving Gritters. Thank you all so much for the support. It means the world to me. For now, though, this has been the Bear Bard. Remember to stay kind, stay beautiful, and keep on living that bard life.